You can access the entire episode now on our website, forbiddenknowledge.news, Rokfin, Rumble, and all podcast platforms. What are your thoughts on the upcoming political theater and chaos, and what does that really mean for the true power shift behind the scenes?
Okay, well, the political arena is, in my personal opinion, is nothing more than entertainment. Come on, we got Biden, who's been played by at least 6 different actors. So who's controlling that? Well, you hear, oh, the Rockefellers are controlling that. Okay. Well, let's see. Who's controlling Tyler Perry Studios? Considering Tyler Perry is allegedly no longer with us. This comes up over and over again. Kamala Harris. I've just recently heard that she was a masked imposter. We just heard Victoria Nuland resigned her position. Well, the scuttlebutt is she's been executed for treason, and so is her husband. So are these stories real? Are they not real? We'll find out eventually. But this is all part of that bowl of anger which gets poured out upon the satanic throne, and the wild beast, this one wild beast that ascends out of the seas, the United Nations, the League of Nations, that loses its power. Now, it doesn't totally go away, it just loses its power. Well, what power is coming on the scene? Well, welcome Apollyon. And now we're kind of, without getting redundant, we're kind of like into the last show that we did with the CERN possibly opening up the dimension to Tartarus and releasing the Watchers and the negative forces that would have, or let's call it the negative alien forces, which were deemed necessary to remove from the 10-dimensional world in which we live into a totally different, separate dimension unto themselves. So considering we got the Mandela effect and CERN cranked up twice in order to find the Higgs-boson particle, or the God particle, history changed. Very little, but it changed. And we can see that in all different places around the planet, but what was most obvious for me is, whoa, what happened to the lion? It's not laying with the lamb anymore, it's now a wolf.
So where do the interdimensional beings that were summoned through this process, what is their role right now?
To help take down the Kazarian mafia. You see, here's the interesting thing, and this is where exopolitics comes into play. I'm going to digress here just a little bit. Jesus, when he was on the face of the earth, was tempted 3 times by Lucifer, or Satan. And one of those temptations, he was taken to an unusually high place, and he was shown all the kingdoms of the world. And he said, for an act of worship, all of these can be yours. And Jesus said, go away, Satan, it is written, it is only Father Yahweh himself that you should worship. And with that, Satan left. But if the satanic empire wasn't under Satan's control, how could he possibly have offered it to Jesus? Now, the question is, when we go back to either the book of Enoch or go back to what's written within Genesis, when man grew a number on the planet, the Watchers, or the sons of the true God, saw that, earth women were hot. And so they took wives for themselves, all whom they chose. Well, now, if Satan had control of the planet, wouldn't they have had to cut a deal with Satan in order to enter his realm of control and take it over? For an act of worship, I'm sure they could get it too, and that's no doubt what they did. And so they fathered a completely new race on this planet known as the Nephilim, the mighty men of old, the men of renown. And these were truly giants, not 9, 10, 12 feet tall. These were giants that were 50 feet, 75 feet, 100 feet tall. According to, it's a little bit difficult because they used they measured in cubits. And then you have to wonder, okay, well, how tall could something get during that time period based on the we're not on the same, we're on the same planet, but it's not really the same Earth, because the firmament was intact, and that water canopy that caused the Great Flood hadn't come down. So Earth was less massive overall, and that would give to a taller life form to begin with. Less mass, less gravity, you're going to be able to grow taller. But how tall? See, they say a brontosaurus could never live in today's environment because his heart could never be strong enough to pump the blood all the way up to the little pea brain that they had. That could very well be true. They say pterodactyls wouldn't be able to fly because there's not enough pressure within the air to fill their wings. So, those are calculations that don't really make a whole lot of difference to me as far as just the academic purpose. But things grew larger on this planet once upon a time prior to the flood, and we would have to guess that, yeah, these things were really big. They're not around anymore. They got washed away and destroyed in all that chaos, and any remnants of them have been disposed of by the Smithsonian Institute and whatever other museums felt it necessary to hide our history. See, once you hide the history, the true history, now you can rewrite what you want. And they did. They absolutely did. I was watching just a great video on the continent of Mu and the continent of Lemuria and the continent of Atlantis, all which were eaten by the ocean and sunk under the sea. And it's like, well, wait a minute, where's the evidence for any of this? In Atlantis, at least you've got something that was written by Plato. But you'll never guess, unless you saw this video, because I had no idea. I just thought it was, wow, what a fantastic idea. Where did the name Lemuria come from? Do you have any idea?
It sounds like it would come from lemur.
You're 100% correct. Ding, 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 ding. Yes. Yes. It came from a scientist that back in the 1800s that said, why are there lemurs in Madagascar? Why are there lemurs in India? Why are there lemurs in Indonesia? There must have been a landmass to connect them all. Whoa, we'll call it Lemuria. That's the evidence.
That makes sense.
That's the evidence for Lemuria. Yeah. Oh, well, it must have been a great civilization at that time, and God felt the need to destroy it. Well, we do have, isn't that crazy? And so Madame Blavatsky jumps on that bandwagon, and all the psychics of the late 19th century get involved in this, and they create these stories about these past civilizations, and it becomes written to our history as fact. And there's no fact to it other than stories that people invented, with the possible exception of what was written about Atlantis. Now, in my personal opinion, I think Atlantis is really Antarctica. That's just a personal opinion. And if you melted all the ice in Antarctica, you would find ancient alien technology which would be unbelievable to us today. And no doubt, because the scriptures are clear that life was genetically engineered on this planet. And evidence would show that. I mean, go back to the Cambrian period. There was such an explosion of life on Earth that we've only had extinction level events since then. Now, you want to know the true age of Earth? Every time you cross the galactic equator, expect an extinction level event to happen. So that would be once about every 13,500, 600 years, something like that. You're going to have some kind of something happen on this planet, which is going to cause great loss of life. So is each cycle a creative day? I honestly don't know. Does it matter? Nope. You know what matters? We're crossing the galactic equator now. We're done crossing it. We're supposed to be in the middle of it somewhere around 2012, 2013, when they found the God particle, and we got the Mandela effect. And it took a number of years. It's not like you're just walking across the equator of Earth. You were traveling through space